Okay, let's take a look at example 2. Find the sum of the first 40 terms. So I guess what we could do is just list out all the numbers. Like I can see here in the first one that we're plus 7, and I can go out and I could list the next 37 different numbers and then add them all together. It would take an incredible amount of time. There is a more efficient way to do this. That's just to use the formula. So do I need D for this? No, I do not. But sometimes it's helpful to have it. So I need T1. So T1 is equal to 8. What is my D? My D is, I can pick any number and subtract the previous. So I'll go 15 minus 8, which is 7. So that is my D. The number of terms, N. N is 40, because we're finding 40 terms. And then I want Tn, my last term. And I don't actually know it. So this is where D is actually going to become really, really helpful. I need to find Tn. So that is my goal right now, to find Tn. To do that, you can find any term by using this Tn formula from the last section, where it's T1 plus D bracket n minus 1. And now I actually do need my D. So I am finding T40, my last term. T1 is 8 plus D, which is 7, times bracket n, which is 40 minus 1. So 8 plus 7, I have to do bad math. 40 minus 1 is 39, but I don't know what 39 times 7 is. So maybe I will do that down below here. Do I have some space? Sure. So 39 times 7. I don't know how much space I have. Okay, I do have enough. 9 times 7 is 63. And then 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 6 is 27. So 273. So we're going to add 273 to this, which would be 281, maybe? I should just double check. I think that's right. So that's what my T40 is. 281. So that's me finding my last term. Now I like to say my last term. It should be T40. We usually just write Tn, but you could write that T40 is 281. So either or. T40 is more right, but we typically just do Tn. Okay, now I can actually find my sum. Now I can find Sn, my sum of the first 40 terms. So just a reminder, just write down what our formula is. It's n, and then you have to add your first term and your last term, and then cut it in half. So if I'm doing S of 40, I have 40 terms. My first term is 8. My next term is 281, and then I can divide by 2. Now here's where I'm going to simplify things a little bit. Just keep in mind that you've got 3 parts here. You've got 40 times this thing divided by this. So there's 3 kind of sections here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simplify the 40 and the 2. So the 40 and the 2 can simplify to a 20 and a 1. I always like to do that. And then this right here is going to be 289. Now I don't need the over 1. Problem is I don't actually know what 289. So I don't know what 289 times 20 is. So maybe I can do that off down here. So 289 times 20. I like that because the zeros will just be zeros. And then start with a 0. 2 times 9 is 18. 16 plus 1 is 17. 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5780. So 5,780 is the sum. If I did that manually, if I found all 40 numbers and added up, that would just take an incredible amount of time. So that is what my sum is. So definitely a lot of work there, right? Like normally I could just plug it into my formula. However, I didn't have my last term, so I had to find my last term first, and then I could plug it into my formula. Okay, let's take a look at another one. So T1 is 25. Nice. I don't obviously have Tn. So I'm going to have to find that. My D, which I don't need in the formula, but now I will need it when I use my Tn formula. My D is going to be, pick a term, subtract the previous one, so 25 minus 19, or sorry, 14 minus 25, which is negative 9, or negative 11, I believe. And then the number of terms is 40. So let's start with finding T1, or sorry, not T1, Tn. I need to find out what that Tn is. So the Tn equals T1 plus some sort of D, and then n minus 1. So T1 is 25 plus negative 11. So I'm just going to write a minus 11. N is 40 minus 1. So 25 minus 11 times 39. Great. I don't know what my 39s are. So 39 times 11. So 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. 0, 9, 3. So 9, 12, 4. 429. So this is 429. So I have 25 minus 429, so it's negative 404. So that is my last term, which we write as Tn, but you could also write as T40 if you wanted to. Okay. So now that I found my my last term, I could just use the first term and then the n, and I can find my sum. So Sn is equal to n first term plus last term, cut in half. So S40 is 40 first term, I don't even know, 25 plus, but I think it's a minus now. Isn't it a minus? Yeah, 404 all over 2. And again, I will simplify those to 20 and 1. That way I don't have to do any dividing by 2 or anything later. And now I can go 25 minus 404, which is negative 375, but 379. Okay, so then I need to multiply that by 20, which I clearly don't know what that is. So 379 times 20. So 0, 0, 0, which is good. And then 18. 14 plus 1 is 15. 7. So 7, 5, 8, 0. So this equals 7,580. That is my sum of the first 40 terms. So let's just zoom out here. And if you need to copy anything down, you can. And I'll just do C now, and then we'll be done for this video. So let's take a look. Obviously, it looks more complicated because it's got fractions, but the process is still the same. I need my first term, 9 over 2, which is 4.5. But I'll leave it as 9 over 2. Tn, last term, do not know. The number of terms, 40. And then I need my D, which is, I don't know what it takes to jump from here to here, well, I can look from here to here. So that's what I'll do, actually. I'll go 31 over 6 minus 29 over 6. So why don't I subtract these two? Well, because then I need a common denominator. And here I don't need one. So the difference between these, 31 minus 29 is 2 over the common denominator of 6, which is the same as a third. So apparently we are adding a third to get from one to the next. So a third here, and then a third to here. All right. Now I do not have my t to the n. do not have my last term. So I guess I'll have to start with that. So Tn is equal to T1 plus my D, which in this case is going to be a third, times n minus 1. So what's T1? 9 over 2 plus a third times 40 minus 1. So I guess I have a 9 over 2 plus 1 over 3 times 39. And then you can just multiply this. This is a 39 over 1. So when you're multiplying here, you go the numerators together. 1 times 39 is 39, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now, not helpful right now because they're not a common denominator. So I'll times that by 2, times that by 3, top and bottom. So I'm going to get a 27 over 6 and a 78, because that would be 40, yeah, over 6. And then I got to add that together. Okay, 78, 88, 98, 108, 105 over 6. And I don't know if that can be simplified. I don't know if... I feel like 3 can be divided into that, but I don't know. I don't think 6 can. But maybe 3 can. So does 3 go into 105? 3 goes into 10 3 times, which is 9. Whoops. I'm just going to move this over here a little bit. 3 times, which is 9. 1. Bring this down. 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So yes, these can both be divided by 3. And I'll get 35 over 2. Okay. So 35 over 2, again, was my last term, and my first term, I forgot 9 over 2. Okay. So to find my sum, well, I need n, which I got, T1 plus Tn cut in half. So if I'm going to find the sum of the first 40 terms, I'm going to have 40 plus first term, 9 over 2 plus 35 over 2. Seems weird that I only go up that much after 40. I guess I'm only adding a third. All divided by 2. So I'm going to do that same trick with this 40 and 2. That can simplify to 20 and 1. And then on the inside here, 35 plus 9 is 44 over 2. So I've got 20 times 44 over 2. So what you could do here is you could multiply the numerators together, and there is no denominator because the 20 has a 1 there, and multiply the denominators together, and which you might have to do sometimes. But I don't need to do that right now because I know that 44 over 2 is just 22. So now I need to do 22 times 20. Well, 22 times 2 is 44. And then add a 0. So 440. Okay, so that's actually, I don't need anything for that. So the sum of all of that is 440. I'm going to double check that here. So let me just zoom out and see what I have. I don't even see the question. It's so far away. So there you have it. Obviously a ton of work here, but we have more questions to do, so we'll try those in the next video.